People sometimes ask how often they should run SEO experiments and what kind are the best SEO experiments to run. Some people turn to SEO experimentation in the hope of reverse engineering the Google algorithm, the ranking algorithm, and that's not really possible because a scientific experiment has to isolate a single factor, and Google's algorithm integrates hundreds of factors into the ranking process. Still, even if we assume that we could isolate that one factor, the results of an experiment would be invalid within a matter of days or weeks. That's because Google is constantly changing its ranking strategies. People don't really innately get that, I think. SEO experimentation, on the other hand, is a good method for building out your skill set as an SEO. By trying different things with websites, you can learn about the risks and the potential benefits of applying different practices. And the best experimentation platform for doing that is a website that you want people to visit, but which is not really critical to the success of your business. So don't experiment with your money site, at least not until you've run the experiment a few times on websites where you're willing to accept some risks and possibly some downturns. If you're a consultant or working for an SEO agency, you should never use a client site to run an experiment without the client's full knowledge and understanding of what it is that you're doing and what you hope to accomplish and what possible risks there may be. You should only experiment on a client site in a way that the experimental process can be quickly reversed and you're not likely to incur any long-term penalties or downgrades for the client site. An SEO experiment begins with a hypothesis, something like, if I use this phrase on every page of my website, the search engine will send more or less traffic to my site. I want you to notice that I didn't say anything about more or less traffic to a specific page or more or less traffic in a specific query or ranking. You can certainly form a hypothesis that is that specific, but that makes it even more difficult to construct a good, reliable SEO test. So you take this hypothesis and you make a change to your website, and then you wait a reasonable length of time to see what happens. After that window of time is closed, you record the results and then you run the experiment again. You need to run the experiment more than once. Each iteration of the experiment is just a test. It's not a full experiment in itself. You need to collect multiple scores or results to see really what's going on with the search engine, because things can be different each time. If you only have one website to experiment with, then you need to undo the change that you made. You need to wait a similar length of time, and then you need to record that result. After you've done that, you can run the test one more time and see if you get a similar result. It's really best to run these tests 3 or 4 times in sequence, but if you're testing something that's time sensitive to the algorithmic ranking process, this is not really a good way to do an SEO experiment. For most websites, you do probably need to wait 4 to 6 weeks before recording the results of a change. So even if you see something happen in the responses in the search engine results before 4 to 6 weeks, it's better to give the search engine time to stabilize your results, because other people are doing things and you never know. What you're looking for is a long-term benefit or gain. You're not really looking for overnight success here. If you have the resources, you can shorten the time frame for experimentation by running your test on multiple sites in parallel at the same time. So if your hypothesis is using an expression for the test, such as I don't know, happy kitty go-karts on Sunday or something like that, then you want to use a different expression on each website. You don't want to put the same expression on 5 to 10 websites, because they'll interfere with each other's progress in indexing and ranking and things like that. So once you've collected your results, you can evaluate them and then you can draw a conclusion. This is really a very simple process for running SEO experiments. You don't have to write a big blog post saying that you've solved the Google ranking algorithm. You're never going to do that. But you can certainly learn a few things as you go along and improve your skill set as an SEO through simple SEO experimentation.